Beep beep, what's up ninjas? My name is Samworld and today I'm going to be teaching you a trick that doctors don't want you to know. And they consider me the most hated man in music producing history because I'm about to release this technique. Just kidding on that, guys. But today I'm going to be discussing a technique that you guys can start using right off the bat to become better producers faster, because it's going to give you direction on where you need to go and you won't have to wander around aimlessly with like a chicken cut off with his head, making really bad melodies that don't make sense and making music that, while yes, it's creative, doesn't work in a dance floor. Now, this technique is going to work really well for producers that haven't been producing for that long, maybe a couple of months, maybe a year, and also that have have their mindset on doing one genre of music. And this technique is going to revolve referencing, but not in the way that you think with mixing and mastering. It's going to be done a little bit different. Now, let me show you how. Now, the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to pick a track that we want to sound like, something that we want to make. So that's why it's important to have a set genre in mind. And if you can get good at that genre by using different reference tracks from that genre, you will get good at it in maybe 2 to 3 months. The more songs you make and the more you mix and master in that genre, the more of a master you'll become. So in front of us, we have a track from an artist named Melendez. I don't know the name of the song and it's not out yet because I told him to try and get it signed. He submitted it in the feedback stream on Thursdays at 8 in the morning and everyone loved the song. And I was like, yo, you could probably get this signed to a big label. So hopefully it goes good for him. Just giving him a shout out there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to study the arrangement of the song, because one of the biggest things that I had trouble with when I started making music was how long should the intro be? How long should the break be? How long should this melody last for? When do the drums come in? All these questions can be answered by just studying your favorite piece of music. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, the cool thing about Ableton is we can right click at the top and set locators to give ourselves notes on stuff. So here we go. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So if you notice, pretty much here we have this sort of 8-bar loop, and then we have this mini fill here. That's what we call it. And then we go back into it, and we can also hear the plug being filtered in here. So if you have an idea of like, oh, I have this song idea, but I don't know how to implement it, the arrangement, now you know you can follow this format that he has followed. So I'll be right here saying, this is where second part intro is. Because of that, we have a fill here, so you can add a fill. You add the locators, you're like, oh, I hear from here forward, I hear the plugs coming in, plugs filtering in. And then you can keep going and studying it along. So let's keep going. So here you can redo this, just rename it second part intro. Snares come in now. Snares. And then we keep going. Now you can put here, we have a breakdown. And you can see I can keep going on and on with this. That's the first thing we want to do with this, is study the arrangement so we know, okay, this is how we have to do it. This is when this comes in. This is when that comes in. All right, guys. Now, the second technique is the biggest one of them all. And it's really one of the things that I tell people, this is what you need to do. And this is why. And it's going to be to study the sounds they used in the drop, study the sounds they used in the break, and copy them. But Samworld, you're just teaching people to sound the same. How are they going to be super creative? They're just going to be like everybody else. Well, yes, that's a very valid argument. The fact is that in order for people to innovate, they need to learn why those sounds that everybody is using in the genre work, why they're so popular. It's like coming into math, trying to figure out an algorithm that no one's ever figured out before that's going to change the way humanity works, and going, fuck that, I don't need to know addition, I don't need to multiplication, that shit for fat. So the way we approach this is, first off, let's check out the drop in this song. So hearing that, I can already say a couple of things about this genre. One, it uses very big room kicks, and it doesn't use the big room kicks that we all know from 2013. It uses a very industrial type of kick. The leads they're using are very fierce and very in the front, very saturated and rich, so we need to use those type of leads as well. There's a snare that's doing this really cool offbeat rhythm. that adds a lot of that swing to that. Without that, maybe the drop wouldn't sound as full and as swingy as it does. Now, the third thing is what kind of melodies work in this genre. Now, this one is where it can kind of go a little bit like major, minor, and stuff like that. But in order for you to understand a genre, you have to understand why these certain types of melodies tend to work better in a genre. For example, in big room, you're not going to hear an ARP on the drop going. You're going to hear hard-hitting melodies that aren't really as complex, but they hit hard because of that. Now, hearing that, we can conclude a couple of things about the breakdown in this song and how it works to come together. First off, there is a very Reese bass that you can hear here. There is an ARP that has a lot of reverb on it, and there's a lot of atmosphere around that to make it sound full. As producers, now we know, okay, these are the elements I need for my drop to sound full. You don't have to copy the melody straight out, but now we can conclude that. When the vocal comes in, you can see that there's nothing else that's drawing attention away from it. So we can conclude that if we have a vocal in our break, we can't have another lead doing crazy things if we want our track to sound like that. And most of the time, you know, when you have a really good track, you're going to see all these things and you're going to start to, as a producer, grow and see, okay, this is why they didn't do this here. This is why they didn't do this here. Another thing as well for, like, let's say the build-ups, you can tell, like, in build-ups, you can hear the drop coming in the background. And that's something that I noticed when I was referencing when I was an intermediate producer trying to make big room back in the day. It's something I noticed, and once I started doing it in my songs build-ups felt more intense, more like they made sense now. They acted more of a bridge connecting the break and drop. It sounded like it was one song, not, oh, the break is a different song and the drop is. So that's why I really like this technique. Now, this technique can also be used for mixing and mastering. I've already shown you guys how to do that in a previous video, one simple trick for mixing that will blow your mind, something like that. It was a really funny video as well if you guys want to watch it. I hope this video helps you guys out. I know there's not much producing in it, but this little technique, I'm not gonna lie, it's something that I wish I would have done when I first started producing, but no one told me to do it. Because if I would have done that, I would have improved faster as a producer instead of making songs that didn't make any sense, that had very cringy melodies. Like I was playing Mary Had a Little Lamp over like an offbeat bass, and it sounded very like, who would play that? Anyways, ninjas, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about this. Hopefully you try it out. Hopefully if you're a new beginning producer, you do this because it's really gonna help guide you. It's like you have the blueprint to make the music you love. You just have to know how to tap into it, really benefit from it. Anyways, ninjas, make sure to leave comments below on types of videos that you guys want to watch, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll try and make some of them that I see in the comments below. Take care, and you guys have an amazing, 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 amazing day. Whoop, whoop.